No, we're driving now.
You're driving now.
Oh, you're going? Yeah. Early Friday.
It'll be worth it. I mean,
Well. Yeah. So we, so probably want to find tickets and then you looked at them on Friday. Sunday, they were up at 2 o'clock. Yeah. So, and then we made the decision.
I'm gonna skate a little bit.
Good, how are you?
You're doing what? Yeah, that's my plan. Like, we're not going anywhere next. Yeah. So that does, we don't normally do a lot around this time of year anyways, but. Yeah, and it's fun having them home.
No, his was off.
They're crazy.
Well, I mean, on the board, I don't have anybody's on yet. What's that? No, it didn't.
You don't have anybody on?
I don't have anybody's on though, on here.
That's weird.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Oh, except we're not on, so he might not hear us.
I can hear y'all.
Okay. Hey, Luke, can you hear me now?
Yep, sure can. Good evening, everybody.
I call this regular meeting of the Nevada City Council to order on Monday, December 14th, 2020, just after 6:00 p.m. And we will start with a roll call, please.
Brian Hanson,
Here.
Jason Sampson,
Here.
Dane Nielsen,
Here.
Sandy Eric, here, Luke Spence,
Here.
Barb Bittman, here.
Okay, first item is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Dane and Jason, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
Yep,
We can understand it then?
yep. I'll go to the display.
The agenda is approved, which takes us into public hearings. The first is amended agreement joint exercise of governmental powers to establish a division line between corporate boundary lines, which is a public hearing on the Ames moratorium extension. Is there anyone here to speak on that topic? Karen, did you receive anything?
No written or requested
Okay.
to speak.
Then we will go ahead and close that public hearing. Moves us to resolution number 55, 2020-2021, resolution approving an amendment to the annexation moratorium agreement with the city of Ames.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Jason, and a lot of seconds. Sandy? Okay. Any discussion on that?
Is Ames on board with this?
They approved it last week.
Okay, thanks.
What's that?
5-1. Yep, 5-1.
Any other discussion? Okay, then seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
Okay, then that passes. Takes us into item B, proposed annexation of territory into the city of Nevada, Iowa. Opening up that public hearing on the annexation for the Verbio project. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of that public hearing? And Karen, did you receive anything?
No written.
Okay.
Oh, Karen, actually, we did receive that letter from Rural Water, and they wanted it as part of the comments on this.
Yes, they did. Let me go grab that. I totally forgot about that.
That's okay.
I'll just read it.
Sure. Okay, so I received this late Friday. It's a letter from the Iowa Regional Utilities Association that says, thank you for the notice regarding the Nevada City Council December 14, 2020 public hearing concerning Nevada's proposed voluntary annexation of 109.22 acres, the annexation territory. IRUA supports the proposed annexation. Please note that IRUA is the exclusive provider of public water supply services to the annexation territory. IRUA looks forward to working with Nevada and its stakeholders to foster and support economic growth and development within the annexation territory. Please include this letter as part of the record for the December 14, 2020 public hearing. Signed, Matthew Mahler. That would be the only one received, right?
My understanding is the developer is responsible for figuring out the water situation.
I've been in contact with Matt Mahler and Verbio about it, and that we need to table.
Okay. Then with that, we will close the public hearing portion and move into resolution number 56, 2020-2021, a resolution approving the annexation of territory into the city of Nevada, Iowa for Verbio Nevada LLC and Union Pacific right-of-way.
Move to approve.
Now discussion.
So let me be clear about the water. That means that if they're using water on north of the tracks, that's rural water. If they're using it where the main plant is currently located, that's city water.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's my understanding that when DuPont was here, we bought the rights for that area.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
And because we're annexing in an area that is territory.
Other discussion? Okay, then seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
Okay, then the annexation is approved and moves us into the consent agenda. Any item may be removed for separate consideration.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jason and Brian, any discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
That is approved. Takes us into the public forum, which is time set aside for comments from the public on topics of city business other than those listed on the agenda. No action may be taken. Is there anyone here to speak in the public forum?
I didn't get any requests.
Okay, then we will close the public forum and move into old business. There's old business A, Central Business District Project Construct Incorporated for a and the first item is a change order number 4 in the amount of $9,257.38.
Move to approve.
Second.
Brian and Sandy, other discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
And that passes, takes us to pay request number 9 for the Central Business District project from Construct Incorporated in the amount of $230,345.20.
Move to approve.
And Jason, discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
And that passes as well, which moves us to old business B for the W Avenue paving project, Absolute Concrete, change order number 3 in the amount of $6,853.49.
Move to approve. Second.
Barb and Sandy, discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
There's one more he needs.
Mine don't work. Aye.
And that passes, moves us to resolution number 57, 2020-2021, a resolution accepting the W Avenue paving project as complete.
Move to approve.
Second.
Dane and Barb, discussion. Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
Okay.
The continue button.
Do they pass?
Yes, okay, sorry.
That passes. So moves us to pay request number 7, the amount of $14,406.12.
Move to approve.
Dane, discussion? Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. So that moves us to resolution number 58, 2020-2021, a resolution approving the economic development financial assistance contract by Mid-States Material Handling and Fabrication Incorporated, Vera Enterprises, the City of Nevada, and the Iowa Economic Development Authority, contract number 21-HQJP-006.
Move to approve.
Second. Jason and Sandy, discussion. Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
That passes. Takes us to resolution number 59, 2020, 2021. Resolution accepting the SCORE sanitary sewer project is complete and authorizing final payment with conditions.
Move to approve. Second.
Jason and Dane. Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
And that passes, which takes us to item E, discussion appropriate follow-up regarding emergency measures during COVID-19 pandemic and previous resolution number 47C, 2020-2021. Marlis has a new spreadsheet in front of you. Story County Public Health wanted to consolidate into one weekly email to all the counties in Story County on Thursday, which I didn't receive the update, but Story County posted an update. So I think they got it. So I know Marlis and Jordan were following up today to figure out, make sure we get those. And then I know Story County wanted to report new cases instead of the 14-day positivity rate. So the numbers they posted didn't include that. So we want to make sure that we get the number that we've been using just so we can remain consistent with what we've been using all along. So that's why there's a couple boxes on your spreadsheet that's say not available. Hear back, did not hear back today. Are there any COVID-19 parts of the resolution you'd like to address this evening as part of your 30-day review? Okay. We'll go ahead and close that agenda item and move into new business. New business A is approved agreement with Consumers Energy to provide service to the new wastewater treatment facility.
Move to approve. Second.
Jason and Sandy. Discussion on that. Okay, seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
That passes and takes us to new business B, request from Your Life Iowa Crisis and CICS mobile response banners and yard signs for display. So you're welcome to hop up there to the podium. Sure.
Hi there. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Carla Webb, and I'm with Central Iowa Community Services, CICS. We wanted to bring to you, we've got some new marketing material for the 24-hour Your Life Iowa Crisis Line and CICS Mobile Response Service. We have the yard signs, and then I also have an 8x2 banner that we have available. We wanted to visit with you to see if you would be interested in displaying these at any of your city buildings, parks, in that. The 24-hour crisis line, that is the statewide crisis line that was established through the Iowa Department of Public Health. Foundation 2 is the entity that answers that line over in Cedar Rapids. And then CICS funds the mobile response service. That service is provided through Irely Ball Community Mental Health Services. Both the services have been available for a while. CICS used to have our own crisis line that was answered by Foundation 2. When the statewide crisis line came out, we started to market that line. The CICS line is a little bit different number. It's still available. Folks can call it. If they do call it, the call just be transferred over to the Your Life Iowa line. So The services, if somebody calls the 24-hour crisis line, Foundation 2 is going to provide counseling and support to them on the line. If they determine it would be appropriate for mobile response services to come out, they will dispatch that service. An individual can also request to have the mobile response service dispatched. That service, when it is dispatched, it's a team of 2 staff that respond to the call. So they will go in person to wherever the individual is at. The service is available for children and adults. They can be dispatched to the school setting, to an individual's home, wherever they are at in the community. When Irely Ball arrives, they are in plain clothes. They are in a personal vehicle, so it's all de-identified. Neighbors aren't going to know who's coming to the house, that kind of thing. When they are on site, they will provide counseling and support to the individual, help them develop a care plan to address their situation. And if they do need to transport somebody to the hospital, they are able to do that if they determine they could benefit from behavioral health care at a hospital setting. Once they've handled the call, they will follow up with the individual within 24 hours of going out and seeing the person. And then they can also provide case management services for up to 30 days with that family or individual to make sure that they've gotten connected to services and supports. So we wanted to share this information with you tonight, see if you would be interested in displaying the information. I know we're a little too late, I think, for the yard signs with the weather that came in this past weekend, but once the ground thaws out, if you'd be interested in posting those, that would be wonderful. So I answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for coming tonight, Carla. It's a lot of great information and great programs that I think we'd be in good mind to support.
Thank you.
Would we consider one of those banners out here or someplace else?
I don't know if staff had anything in mind for placement.
I mean, as far as the signs, I mean, we just have a thing where you can't set private signs on or public property. So if you guys would make this exception, that would work.
Right, and that's why I think the recommendation was to have you come forward, because there would have to be an exception to the general rules to allow that.
Okay.
Yep.
And I can leave them here if you guys would like, if you need time to research it, or I can take them back with me and you can contact me if you do decide you'd like to display anything.
One option is you can probably approve placement in the authorized staff. That way you don't have to decide exactly where to put them all tonight.
I would make a motion that we approve placement with staff figuring out where the appropriate place for the signs would go.
I'll second that.
Dane, discussion? Being none, council, please vote.
Aye.
So will this be a deal that
That passes.
that we let, like when it gets nice in the spring where they can actually stick them in there, we'll just let them do it, or we are gonna have to do it? Just let them put some yard signs out?
I don't know if the intent was to leave those and we would put it out when it's thawed, or if they were gonna come back and place them.
Either way, I just wondered.
Yeah, we can do whatever works for you guys. We're happy to come back and do that or leave them with you.
I mean, I think as long as staff directs where they go, I don't
Yeah.
know that it matters who places them, but
We'll let them figure that out.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
For coming.
Thank you.
That moves us to new business C, resolution number 60, 2020, 2021. Resolution approving amendment 1 to the intergovernmental contract with City of Ames regarding fire and EMS services in the area around the intersection of Highway 30 and Interstate 35.
Move to approve.
Second.
Brian and Jason. Discussion. Okay, seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
I have no light. I think mine's probably not. I'm an aye.
Okay, that passes. Takes us to resolution, or new business D, approve extension of Nevada Senior Citizens Agreement for use of the Nevada Senior Community Center.
Move to approve.
Dane and Jason,
I waited long enough.
discussion. Seeing none, council, please vote.
Aye.
Okay, and that passes, and so that takes us to reports. So we'll start with our city administrator.
I have nothing other than the report that I provided on Friday. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Tell me a little more about this next link,
Next link, okay.
MetroNet
MetroNet.
deal that we're in right now.
So Next Link is a company out of Texas. Craig and I were supposed to have a meeting with him last week, but I don't know if something came up. He didn't send us an invite, Zoom invite, and I reached out to him, left him a voicemail and didn't get back to him, or he didn't get back to me. But Next Link, they're a company out of Texas. They want to come up. They serve rural areas, and presently they are in Story County in a rural area. I believe it's North Story County that they're in. They've been talking with Ames, and they reached out to us as well. They would like to put antennas up on our water tower, and one of the things I brought up was, okay, what about free internet and phone service? And they said that's definitely a possibility, so that's when I wanted to start talking in more depth with it. MetroNet, we've been talking with them with their internet as well, plus the phone lines, because we are looking at getting new phones. And I mean, for a gigabyte service, you know, it's a good price, but we want to be able to look at all of our options before we make a decision on that, because as we all know, internet is a really big deal and phones are also a big deal.
Right.
And so with NextLink, would it be, it sounds like they're one of those Site wireless, is that what they are?
It would be wireless, yeah, correct.
So it's more of a radio wave, kind of like
Yeah,
Rise Broadband does right now.
which is probably good for rural areas, but I think for us, we'd want to look at the IT component of dedicated fiber reliability versus that, which I'm sure you guys are all over.
That's why I had Craig there.
Yeah.
Because he knows the logistics of everything like that, but
Sure, fiber's a lot more reliable.
yeah, probably.
Okay. Any questions for Jordan? Okay. Then moving on into my report, there's nothing really new. We're continuing on with meetings about the field house, and that project is continuing to get some initial pledges for that. And then strategic planning has kicked off. I think we talked a little bit about that before, but we had a really good first meeting of that. And then we kicked off some of the public outreach with coffee on Zoom over the weekend. And I know Marlis has a story she's putting together about that as well. So you're going to look out for that. The first push is going to be public input, so we're going to need all of your help to make sure as many folks complete the survey as possible. Any questions for me?
Just a comment, I thought the coffee was really informative. I was glad that I paid attention, and thank you, Tim. I learned a lot, so, you know, never assume that we know everything that everybody else knows. It's what I got out of that coffee.
I was really thankful that Tim and Michelle were on there because they're both a wealth of knowledge. So that was
good.
Really helpful. And then we also took the audio of it and made it into a podcast today for folks like me that don't have an attention span to watch a 45-minute video. They can listen to a podcast while they scoop snow or whatever it is. Anything else? Council reports.
But I did follow up with the Rally Link, the webinar today for Rally, Iowa.
Yeah, for the
And-
mobile or virtual, I guess.
Yeah, virtual. So that's the RX Abuse Leadership Initiative that we approved Clearback, partnering with Clearback in June 2019. They pulled partners together to work with the opioid crisis, and there was the players at the table. They're the main some of the main partners. Was really interesting to me. I hadn't thought about. I obviously thought about the way that opioid use can affect business and employers and employees, but to have the state represented, the state level leadership represented today, to hear that the Iowa Realtors Association, some of the ways that folks were securing their and feeding their opioid habit was by going to open houses. And then the affirmation, of course, about all the drug drop-offs with the pharmacies. It was really interesting. It's a really quick, it would be a quick listen. Everybody did kind of like 3 to 5 minute elevator speeches about why this was important to them, and having those perspectives in one place, I found to be really helpful. I'm glad we're engaged.
Yeah, I wasn't able to hop on that. Did they say they were going to send out a recording?
I think, or they're making a recording, so they'll make it available, I think, on the site.
Okay, yeah, so we'll watch for that and send it out to everybody, and probably have Marlis put it out too. Because they do similar to what we did at the summit, where we had the mobile, it was like a mock bedroom, where they kind of show ways that particularly teenagers can hide drugs.
And that's
they
available.
were going to do something like that too.
They
like
did
a
do-
mobile
Yeah,
trailer.
it's
They
available
did do something
virtually,
like that. Yeah.
even now. They're
Looking
not-
shoes, looking the closets, looking coat pockets and in the tongue of sneakers. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all virtual now. You can go through and you can walk through the bedroom without having, it's COVID tolerant.
Thanks, Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Any other council reports?
I just want to give a shout out to Main Street Nevada for the Santa on Parade a couple weeks ago. I had the opportunity to play music as we paraded Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and the Grinch around town, and I thought it was really well attended. I thought a lot of community members came out and were able to safely enjoy it, and I know they've heard a lot of good feedback, so I think that was a really good event, and I just want to make sure they get recognized for continuing to come up with creative ideas to do fun community activities in a safe way in a year like this. So I also want to thank the chauffeur, the music, and the Grinch around. It was fun. There was a lot of people. I was surprised for being. It was a beautiful night for it. Mm-hmm. It turned out really good. But I think I'd heard about from a lot of people too that the kids had fun. They lit the Christmas tree on Main Street, and it was a good time. It was young, and the kids with the young kids and some older people that came out. It was kind of neat to see the people that were standing along the street was young and old to see Santa Claus and the Grinch. So it was good. I think they're going to try to do it next year again, from what Henry was saying. So that's good.
Go back to Ray from Fire.
I just wanted to update you. Today we found out that starting Thursday we'll be offering our staff the COVID vaccine. So public health is taking appointments starting Thursday. It's completely voluntary, and at first tier is anybody that on the department, both police and fire, that have medical certification. So I do intend to take it.
Okay. Okay, Tim, Park and Rec.
I don't think I've had a chance to speak with you since probably early November, but since then, we did our senior Thanksgiving luncheon, and I want to just thank a lot of our community partners for that. The Walmart Foundation, the folks at Fairway, the Nevada schools, a lot of our city staff, elected officials really came together. We had a tremendous amount of private support for that event as well. We did all told that day between senior meals and for families out in the community, we did 460 meals that went out that day. So I think it was a good success. It was well received. So with all the support we got to that day, we're able now to, at Christmas, this Friday, we're going to deliver 160 food bags for Christmas meals to the Resource Center for the Angel Tree Program because of just the excess that we had for support for that. So for all those people that participated and helped, a big thank you from us for everything you did. Right now, we're kind of working on, we're able to resume some of our activities now. So we're kind of revamping some schedules, working on that. We're kind of in that early spring and summer mode as well. So we're going to be offering employment applications coming up. So if you know people that are looking for summer jobs, now is the time to kind of be reaching out to us. So that information will be coming out, and we'll do that through the end of January. And then planning, summer and spring and summer activities. So that's kind of the mode we're switching to. So other than that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Tim, any conversation about what the situation with the pool look like next year being open, or?
Really, I think our anticipation is it will be. So we're moving in that direction, and we'll have, I think, a lot of new lifeguards we're going to have to train this year because we were off last year. So Rhonda is diligently working on a lot of that stuff. We're trying to look at completely revamping our swim lesson program. And that's kind of been a big undertaking, but trying to get that down to a much smaller student to teacher ratio. And we think we can do that with a plan we've come up with. And it's also going to be able, I think, to actually allow more kids to do it. So working through those things right now. So, all right. Thank you.
Public Safety Director Martinez.
We were approached this past summer by YSS to see if we could release some of the bikes we have downstairs. I talked with Jordan, and we went through the process to purge all the bikes that we had over. Most of them were over at least 120 days, some from last year. We do every 2 years, we try to get rid of the bikes, and we couldn't do it this year. So after we got the process all done, they came by and we gave them 21 bikes. Most of them were in really good shape. Some just need a little tweaking, but most of the time we've found over in collecting the bikes that they get abandoned and they're just dumped, and whoever owned the bike before just replaces it because it doesn't cost a whole lot, and then we end up with the bike. So that was a good way of getting rid of them. So I'm not sure what we'll do with the rest, but we'll do something in the spring, but we at least got a little more room downstairs to take care of whatever we collect. The other thing is we just started our hiring process all over again. So we did have a seat for the January Academy, but we gave up that seat. We didn't have any candidates to put in the Academy. And so we have 2 seats reserved for April and 2 seats reserved in August. We're anticipating if we don't have 2 good people and only 1 for April, at least we have an extra seat for the one in August. So like I said, we're just starting that process, and hopefully we can get some good quality candidates to hire on. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. I'll go over to Karen.
With the cancellation of the last meeting in December, we'll send out, like we've done in the past, a claims list on Tuesday, the 22nd. I'll email it out, and if you guys see any issues with an invoice or check that you don't want to be sent out, we'll hold that until the next, but otherwise those are ones that will go out to avoid any late fees or those kinds of things too. Other than that, working on the budget and waiting for the valuations. That's the thing we wait for to put it all together. And I am taking vacation the last week in December, so I'll be gone that week. So, you have any questions?
That's the only thing for Karen. Okay. We'll go over to Sean.
As you can see, we're starting to close up some of those projects, and that's the last bill you'll see from the Main Street project that we start again in March. The wastewater treatment plant is going pretty well. They've gotten most of the grading done. The grading company has actually mowed out of there, so we're just waiting on the utility contractor to mow in and start laying the pipe in that area, and hopefully we'll finish it up.
Council, anything for Sean?
Hey, Sean, I see somebody decided to drive over a bump out already right here on Lincoln Way and 6th Street.
We've kind of discussed some stuff with that.
Okay.
One of the things we could do is just make it not a truck route, because there's when we were putting the street signs up, I noticed there was a big semi that went down 6th Street. And I'm guessing he's probably just using his GPS. It's telling him that's the way to go. Well, we need to start maybe pushing them to 19th and Airport Road and, to where they need to be.
Yeah.
So we've just been discussing other solutions to that,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I figured it wasn't done yet anyway, since
Yeah, it's gravel.
gravel, but
yeah.
still, we don't want them driving over it after it's not gravel.
Yes.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I figured you already noticed, but I just thought I'd ask.
Anything else? Okay. And we'll go to HR Green, Larry and Casey.
Good evening, everyone. This is Larry. The last 3 weeks since last council meeting have been kind of uneventful, and that's kind of a good thing because both my wife and I had the good fortune of going through a COVID battle. So it's been a long 3 weeks, but we're both alive and well and doing good. With that, there are a few things that we've worked with the city on. One is the initial and then final review of the site plan and approval of the site plan for the new proposed grocery store on Fawcett Parkway. In addition to that, working with city staff to provide updated cost estimates for the CIP projects that are proposed over the next 5 years. And one of those is a 2021 street project, and working with Jeremy, we've come up with 3 different areas that we're looking at doing some improvements. One is the doing a reconstruction of 11th Street from U Avenue to W Avenue, which you just approved that project for final acceptance tonight, and getting rid of some gravel over there. And then in addition to that, doing a asphalt mill and fill project on Lincoln Highway in the vicinity of Osage. And the new project that's come up is in the S14 in the vicinity of the railroad underpass, and doing something there to improve that roadway. In all likelihood, all 3 of those projects will be asphalt projects, so they will all complement each other. So we've advanced that project, and we're working on it now. We'll be bringing a contract to you at the first meeting in January. In addition to that, there'll be a few other contracts we'll have before the council at that council meeting. So lots of stuff being worked on, and you'll see those shortly. With that, I will conclude that, and if you've got any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Council, anything for Larry? Okay, thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Over to Aaron.
I don't have anything to report this evening.
And anything left from council before we adjourn?
Move to adjourn. Second.
Dane and Brian, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Say nay. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Right.
Good.